Wendy, first let me ask you, I know, were you surprised by this? And I know you feel very differently on the fundamental issue here of guilt or innocence.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. It's the right result, and I predicted it. And I predicted it because I read the file and looked at the evidence instead of just watching all of her cheerleaders and the PR machine mislead the American public to believe that she was not guilty. I know she doesn't look like a classic killer. She doesn't look like Jeffrey Dahmer. But Scott Peterson looks like Dream Date Ken. And look at Jodi Arias. I mean, we have to get over ourselves. She is capable of killing. Why? And what do we know objectively about the evidence? The numbers 5, 3, and 1 matter here. 5 spots of blood in the apartment where Meredith Kercher was murdered. Mixture of Amanda Knox's DNA and the victim's blood on door jambs and walls. You cannot explain that away innocently. They'd only lived there for a couple of weeks at the time of the murder. No blood had ever been there. No mixture has an innocent explanation. The 3, she gave 3 different stories. First said, I wasn't there at all. The next story was, I was there, but it was a hazy memory. And she remembered details about the crime that only someone who was there could have known during the second story. The third story was, I wasn't there at all. And third, the number one thing that we should be so angry about her, she falsely accused Patrick Lumumba, an innocent black man she had worked for. She knew he was innocent. She let him rot in jail, falsely accusing him of the crime until he could prove that he wasn't even there. That's the kind of person she is. She could let an innocent black man rot in jail rather than tell the truth. What kind of person does that? The same kind of person who could kill a human being.
And what's your response to that? Pretty impassioned argument.
Well, I completely disagree with all of it. I know this case intimately. I have all the videos, DVDs, I have everything in the case. I've got the expert reports, and I'll tell you, I've read everything more than once. But the thing is, it's like, only lawyers and painters can turn black to white. I mean, that's what we just heard from Wendy. She didn't say she wasn't there. She didn't say that she was, and then later say she was there and have details, about what happened. She was out there without an interpreter. She didn't speak Italian, without a lawyer for hours and hours, overnight. And they said, if you were there, imagine what happened. And there was no detail that she knew, supposedly, that, she shouldn't have known unless she was a killer. The next thing is, and she did not accuse the Patrick Lumumba. She was asked, there was a text on a phone, and it said, see you later. Italy, they said, see you later, to go kill Meredith together, that she texted to him. And they kept suggesting, because they found a hair consistent with someone that was African American, that
she was found guilty of falsely accusing him, Anne, and you know it. And that was upheld on appeal. She was found. What, you're going to blame the entire country?
You know what? I like you to finish, Wendy, and I have great respect for you, but the thing about that is that that's criminal defamation in Italy. We don't have that here. We have a First Amendment right, etc. Now, but going on also in terms of the evidence in the case, on appeal, which is de novo appeal in Italy, which means you try it all over again, the judge appointed 3 different experts, 3 independent experts. And you know what they said? They threw out all that evidence. All the evidence you just talked about, thrown out, not admissible, contaminated, etc. So, and they have a very low standard for admissibility in Italy. So that's what the case was all about. There's no evidence against Amanda Knox, 0. And here she sits now here in Seattle, finally getting used to her life. And she has to deal with the case all over again. And part of it is, let me just say one other thing, is the kind of media attention we had to deal with in this case and try and turn it around.
Let me ask each of you quickly before we go, though, the bottom line question here, which is, she was tried for this, appealed, eventually found innocent after serving jail time. In the United States, once you're done in the system, you can't be tried again for the same crime. So they're going to do that in Italy, but the United States will have a decision. Are they going to force her to go over there and stand trial or go to jail if that's the verdict, or are they not? Extradite or not? Yes or no? First to you, Anne.
Definitely not. And it's not just the double jeopardy. We have it, they don't. But the lack of facts. And that's what goes into an extradition. So luckily she's going to stay here. That's the good news today. It's the only good news today.
Wendy, extradite, yes or no?
Look, she's obviously never going there because she knows she'd be convicted, because she deserves to be convicted. That's why she's whining about, I'm not going back. She will be tried in absentia. She will be found guilty. There will be an extradition warrant issued for her. And I hope this country has the political wherewithal to ship her over there, because extradition treaties depend on reciprocity. And when somebody that we want to prosecute and punish takes off and runs to Italy, and we want that person brought back here for justice, Italy's going to say, forget you. You didn't give us Amanda Knox.
All right.